So, guess what? The very first XRP fund just started trading. We got some cool new info about how it did on its first day. Let's jump right into all the good stuff. Here's Paul Barron talking to this fund expert named Eric who just said something pretty surprising about this Xrp thing. This is basically like a special fund that lets people buy XRP without actually buying XRP directly. Lots of people were buying and selling it super fast in just 90 minutes when he posted this tweet. Is this thing still growing this crazy fast right now? Have you checked the newest numbers? I haven't looked in a little while, but it did calm down a bit after it first opened. But it's having a really awesome day. Like, it's a really strong start for this kind of product. So these products, so that screenshot you showed before with this generic listing thing, yeah, it's connected to this somehow. So the product you were just showing fits into this special rule called the 1940 Act. And what that does is there were some basic rules that were made for products that fit into this 1940 Act. I don't want to get too complicated here, but basically that was like a simple rule book. So that's why those future products were able to start after 75 days after filing some paperwork. That's how Xrp basically pushed Solana, XRP, and Dogecoin into that special wrapper with some smart legal tricks, and they were able to launch because the SEC couldn't stop it because it followed the rules. Exactly. And so part of what happened with those basic listing rules is basically like now even the pure spot products, the ones that usually have to go through that 1918B4 process that I've talked about many, many times. It's like a 260-day long process. You're going back and forth with the SEC. There's delays, there's rejections that's going to be gone now with this basic listing rule. So basically the PIATA, your spot products that are going to hold nothing but the real underlying coin are going to have the same sort of easy process. They only need to get their paperwork approved. Usually you had to go through another department called Division of Trading and Markets to get your 194 approved, which is like asking for a rule change. And you would have had to do that for every single coin that was coming with this sort of wrapper. And I think the SEC was like, one, we should have had, a simple process from the beginning. We should have done this already. And two, I mean, we don't want to be writing 20, 30, 40-page reports approving every single product that's trying to list a new crypto coin. Like, that's just not something they want to do. So, good and bad things here. It'll be easier to list spot products for crypto coins like XRP, Hedera, Cardano, those types of things. But we can get a market that has way too many products. And so when you have 100 or 200 different products, when you only had several, people might get confused and not know exactly where to go. And money might get, not all the money might go into specific coins. They might be spread apart. And so that could be one of the bad things here, but a lot of really good upside to see. Chad Sign Grabber said, side-by-side comparison of Grayscale Day 1 and Xrp Day 2. So here is Grayscale, and then here's the Xrp. It looks at the volume here, average trading, how long, how much it's been trading for, and a lot of really cool information to see. All these products are hitting the market now, and big money investors are interested, and I'll give you some more information here. The Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 fund officially launched on September 19th, and features like XRP is his third biggest holding, making it the first major multi-coin crypto fund in Thailand. He US to hold XRP in their portfolios. At the same time, the Xrp XRP fund launched and delivered record-breaking volume, doing better than other funds, including those for Bitcoin and trading activity. That is exactly what we want to hear, ladies and gentlemen. The Grayscale bundle here is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. And of course, here are some more details. The first day, $37.7 million in trading volume. We did see XRP's price drop today. Kind of a, buy the rumor, sell the news thing. Just wanted to show you XRP's price here. So they're all saying 59 down to short of 58 right now. And, the market is reacting a little badly to all the money news happening in the United States. But I do think it's going to be green, green, green towards the end of the month, going into October. Chad Steingraber says, if you can thank Coinbase Futures for all the XRP funds you're about to get. So, Coinbase has been one of the leaders pushing all of this through. So, thank you, Coinbase. Love to see it. Also, Smoke Dog has this Franklin Templeton 2024. Other layer ones outside of Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana have huge potential, and they're continuing to support Watch and develop these networks as they grow and get better. Franklin Templeton 2025, we are choosing XRP. Franklin Templeton is also working with Stellar, so let's not beat around the bush there. But you are seeing Franklin Templeton working with the best money infrastructure on the planet, which is XRP, Ripple, and of course, Stellar and XLM. Also, first stablecoin on Gnosis-friendly fork of Liquidity L2 will allow people to create stablecoins backed by your FXRP. This is really big news for Flare and, of course, XRP. Just to give you some more background here, the post announces the launch of the first XRP-backed stablecoin on Flare Network made possible by Gnosis Loans, a protocol copied from Liquidity V2. XRP holders can now create stablecoins likely US dollar, pegged by using FXRP as backing, unlocking DeFi utilities like payments, yield farming, NFT purchases, and lending. The good thing here is you're going to get a bunch of new developers coming in and building new infrastructure that's going to allow us to do all of these things. And when more XRP is being used, that is going to go ahead and lower the circulating supply and, of course, increase our current XRP value. Chad Sign Grabber says all sleeping XRP accounts, 500,000 of them. Data shows over 500,000 wallets hold 10,007 million XRP. Could you imagine owning 10 million XRP? Man, some people are going to be extremely rich. Kate Gracie to talk about here. The SNL to SEC Dogecoin gets fund and meme trades go mainstream. This was really great to see here. Chad Steingraber says, one more time for the people in the back. A spike in oil is coming. That will be the trigger that causes Japan to raise rates and reverse carry trade to finally unwind at scale. XRP is the ultimate hedge. And of course, this person called Risk Taker says oil holds the key and posted some more information on what we're looking at here. I also wanted to just get into this Claver's reverse carry trade theory. The reverse carry trade involves investors borrowing cheap Japanese yen and investing in higher-paying global assets. When Japan raises the rates possibly triggered by oil price shocks, the trade unwinds quickly, causing a rush back into yen and mass sell-off of assets like U.S. treasuries. Traditionally, foreign exchange and banking systems will not be built to handle such huge, sudden money movements, creating a big bottleneck for global liquidity. Why could XRP benefit here? Claver argues that XRP, with its super-fast settlement, large liquidity pools, and bridge asset function between currencies and platforms, could absorb a huge share of these emergency cross-border flows. As traditional routes get clogged up or become shaky, institutions may turn to solutions like Ripple and XRP to make safe, rapid, and rule-following transfers of capital, especially at institutional scale. This surge in demand and volume could drive XRP's price dramatically, both from capital flight and from structural adoption of settlement needs. Claver specifically highlights XRP's ability to settle transactions in 20 to 40 minutes, and is designed as a neutral bridge for global payments. Now, when you're saying 20 to 40 minutes, I think this is not, of course, the settlement. It's 3 to 5 seconds. But I think he's talking about when financial institutions are doing this, it is a little bit of a slower process. And of course, we'll have to see if Jake Claver is right on this. I think we all want him to be right, because then our XRP would be worth a ton more money. I gotta respect the guy for putting it out there, man. You know, he's talking his book, and he believes these things, and I'm rooting for him, man. I'm rooting for him to be right. And then Paul Barron says, crypto lending is about to explode. The DeFi lending market just hit $15 billion in TVL in 2024. But here's the real story. My predictions by 2030, 500 plus billion in lending protocols, 100 million active borrowers and lenders, traditional banks offering DeFi integration and real-world assets as collateral standards. I mean, this is something that we were talking about, 2 or 3 years ago, but great to see Paul Barron coming around on some of this stuff. I have just built a course for beginners, intermediate, and experts of XRP to better understand the XRP ledger and Ripple the company. If you're interested in getting that course absolutely free, there's a link down in the description. Please let me know what you think after you've taken the course. At the same time, the Rex Osprey XRP fund launched and delivered record-breaking volume, doing better than other funds, including those for Bitcoin and trading activity. That is exactly what we want to hear, ladies and gentlemen. The grayscale bundle here is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. And of course, here are some more details. The first day, $37.7 million in trading volume. We did see XRP's price drop today. Kind of a, buy the rumor, sell the news thing. Just wanted to show you XRP's price here. So they're all saying 59 down to short of 58 right now. And, the market is reacting a little badly to all the money news happening in the United States. But I do think it's going to be green, green, green towards the end of the month, going into October. Chad Steingraber says, if you can thank Coinbase Futures for all the XRP funds you're about to get. So, Coinbase has been one of the leaders pushing all of this through. So, thank you, Coinbase. Love to see it. Also, Smoke Dog has this Franklin Templeton 2024. Other layer ones outside of Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana have huge potential, and they're continuing to support, watch, and develop these networks as they grow and get better. Franklin Templeton 2025, we are choosing XRP. Franklin Templeton is also working with Stellar, so let's not beat around the bush there. But you are seeing Franklin Templeton working with the best money infrastructure on the planet, which is XRP, Ripple, and of course, Stellar and XLM. Also, first stablecoin on Gnosis-friendly fork of Liquidity L2 will allow people to create stablecoins backed by your Xrp. This is really big news for Flare and, of course, Xrp. Just to give you some more background here, the post announces the launch of the